Hello, everybody. Whoa, was that loud? That was loud. You guys can hear me okay? How's it going? I am so excited to be doing this right now. Let me just make sure I'm not blowing out my own speakers by yelling at the mic. But I am so excited to be doing this right now. Yesterday, after I finished streaming, I got my package in the mail. The Holy Grail came in the mail. And so I knew that I wanted to jump and do this stream. So let's talk to the chat first before we get to it. First one in, Stephen Rockwood Drawing. Welcome, man. It's good to see you. I know you are a huge fan and huge friend of Shanth, so it's good to see you here checking this out. Did you get, I don't know, but I'm assuming you probably got your NOSFERO already? I don't know, I can ask Shanth, but because I'm guessing you were like backer number -1 or something. Stephen Rockwood's here. General Piggy, how you doing? Hail, my friends. Great to see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting Shanth in this. I know we are all... I've been so excited to get this book. Like, crazy excited. And it's really surreal that it's here. It took all my willpower to not tear it open when I got it yesterday, but I knew I wanted to do this with Shanth present, so I'm excited to be here right now at this moment. Shanth is obviously here saying hey to everybody in the chat. Cranberry Langers is here. Hey, I hope everything's going okay with you. I know you had a tough go yesterday, but thanks for showing up. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Thanks for being present here. And I hope you guys are well. Hope you and your family are doing well and coping well. Shanth is obviously here. Everybody's saying, hey, General Piggy, what's up? And John is here. John is on time today. Just joking with you, John. Now, you're here before Comrade Sammy. Hopefully, Comrade Sammy shows up. But you beat her to it today. John saying hey to everybody. Everybody's happy, excited, lots of exclamation marks, lots of abbreviations. Gutsy, no, good to see you, because everybody's super excited for Shanth. And Shanth, I don't know, is Shanth super excited? We'll see. Check this out. I hit up Shanth this morning. I wanted to make this like, classy and official. So I hit him up this morning and I got this. Wait. Boom! oh, other side. Look at this. Look at this beautiful logo that Shanth designed for his book. And look how awesome it looks on stream. But that is what we are going to be talking about today. Hello, Rocky Bella says, guess who I be here? I know. You beat Comrade Sammy. And you are the winner. You are the crown winner today. Saying hello to Shanth. Intro is much better with the music than without. Was my last time, I think the last time I did the intro and the music was muted. I was just talking with Shanth just before we went live that, like, as you guys can all imagine, there are so many buttons and levers to pull to get this to work. And I keep forgetting at least one or two of them. RIP, Comrade Sammy, we barely... Dang, that's cold. Comrade Sammy's always rooting for you, John. She's always rooting for you to come in on time. You just threw her under the bus. Sounds good. Hey, Rocky Cranberry Langers. Waylam03. Wait, it's shipped? It has shipped. It is, it's out there. NOSFERO is out in the world. I know that Shanth's working hard. I'm gonna pull him up here soon, but I just want to get through the chat really quick. The intro chat. But Shanth's been busting his tail to get these books out, and he has put so much care into it that you can't rush perfection. So we'll talk to him more about it. Just his whole packing, shipping, fulfillment process. I'm sure it's super fascinating. Mark's Music Obsession. Hey guys, nice to see you. My newest mod from yesterday. Mark, let me know. Everybody's saying the audio sounds good, but let me know, especially when Shanth gets on here, that our audio sounds pretty equal. Congratulations. Comrade Sammy. John, joke's on you. I've been here the whole time. She was incognito. Stephen Rockwood Drawing. Mine is on the way. Oh, did I beat you? Oh, all right. Well, Gotta talk to Shanth about that. Everybody's saying, hey, Shanth, what's up, brother? From Mark's Music Obsession. Comrade Sammy, glad you got your book from Shanth. Rocky, I'm happy for you. I am talking super fast and like super loud because I am that excited right now. And hey, Cranberry and John. Okay, you guys got to stop talking so we can get to Shanth coming in here. Yo, Cranberry Langers, hope you're doing better today. Sammy, boo, Hyder. You guys are hilarious. All right. Yeah, praying for Cranberry Langers. Had a tough go yesterday, and we are thinking of you. Hopefully this will bring you a little bit of joy today. We'll brighten your day. I woke up this morning. My wife had a tough day yesterday at work, and I looked out the window, and there was a gorgeous sunrise. And I told her, I said, you know what? The sun always rises every day at the same time. And that's something we can hang on to, you know. I think God designed it that way. He knew we needed that 24-hour reset. Who wants to tell him, LOL? Hey, hello. We got a good chat going on here. Yeah, man, about as well as could be expected. I will stick around till my break is up. All right, cool. Glad you are here. Oh my gosh. Comrade Sammy, you can't leave right now when I'm about to bring in the Shanth. That looks great. Great logo. Sweet. Afternoon. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Everybody's excited. Hello, everyone. Wondering how much more messy Shanth's studio is due to fulfillment. Well, you can ask him in person. I'm going to bring him on, and I'll keep going on the chat, but I'm going to bring him on. Without further ado, let's get him in. Oh, wait, I'm going to up this. Hang on. All right, here we go. The man, the legend.
What's up?
Here we go.
How you doing, man?
I am doing good now. I am so excited, and so is everybody else. What time did you wake up today?
Well, what do you mean? The first part of this morning was from 12 to 5, and then I took a break, went to sleep for a couple hours, and then it started again at 10:30.
Oh my gosh. Are you seeing a little bit of a delay, Shanth?
That's how it goes.
Are you seeing a little bit of a delay?
Yes.
You are? Oh no. What does that mean?
Nothing. I think it plays all right for them, but I do think sometimes there's a little bit. Oh, really? I'm just Shanth is echoing. So is the audio? Because I have headphones in.
Oh no. See? This is what we're talking about, guys. All right, hang on a second. Let's do some. Can you guys hear?
You're
Testing.
muted.
Can you hear? I can hear you, Shanth.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, can you guys hear? Let's see, what a letdown. Can you talk, Shanth?
Talk Shanth.
Oh, okay. There's no more delay now. There's no more delay, or at least I don't see the visual delay. All right, wait. Let's check the chat. Are people saying that they can? Beard is legit, but a terrible audio echo on Shanth with the delay. Look how fancy the screen layout is better now. No echo. Okay, I think we fixed it. All right, so I guess I think even though you have headphones in and I have headphones in, I think I always have to keep those things clicked. All right. Anyway, sorry, you got up at 5. I mean, you went to sleep at 5 and woke up at 10.
Yeah. I went to bed at 5 in the morning. I did a stream. Another buddy of mine actually was going to do a stream as well, but I said we'll do it tomorrow because that's how it is. It's 24/7. I mean, we never stop promoting, we never stop shipping, we never stop, never stopping. We just we just keep going because this This is the biggest thing about it, right? We are fully independent, in this space, and I was independent with the first 2 art books, and now in Comicsgate, what's kind of cool is we're independent together. And I tweeted this out, and I said to people, this is a stream that we're having right now that was 30 years in the making.
It's true. It's true.
Yep.
That's really weird to think of it that way. Um, yeah, that's mind blowing. My goodness, I can't even process that right now. I couldn't
Yeah, man.
process yesterday, like when we were talking about going over 100 subs, and I couldn't process getting
Hmm.
your book in the mail. It's really weird. I
Dude,
feel like I'm gonna open this up and it's gonna be just like dust inside or something.
that's me. I'm just, you open me up, it's just dust, and I just melt away. That's
Okay,
it.
we're getting some
You know?
questions here. Is Sean's beard longer? John's asking.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's kind of a second date question. But
even
sure.
Mark's music obsession. The beard is legit. Oh wait, I think this audio echo is later though. I'm going back in the chat, so hopefully the audio echo
Mhm.
is fixed. But the beard is still the same from when it was echoing
I
or
mean,
not.
yeah, yeah, it's grown. I mean, it's a funny thing too. It's really just giving up on shaving becomes so necessary as a part of this, you know. And you just try not to you try not to let it get too crazy. But it's, you know, you're experiencing what has been so cool about this and us doing this stuff is that when you when you come from the time period that so many of us come from before this technology existed, the the access and the work you had to do to get to the audience is not as extreme. But the work that there's new work to be done that you can then fill in with that work, and it's you know, spinning plates and you know, making logo designs, and you know, learning InDesign and Illustrator and color correcting and proofs and packaging up bags and boards, figuring out, you know, the attention to detail, which I know you and I both have for as long as I can remember, is one of the things that's your saving grace, you know, in these
Yeah.
situations, because it's you know, you can keep yourself focused and then you just pay attention to that. So.
I mean, there's like just as I've started being in this space and just exploring, especially the YouTube content creator world. Um,
Mhm.
there's just so many different aspects, like we were just saying, so many plates to spin. But the thing that
Yeah.
is cool about it for me is I enjoy those plates, spinning those plates. That's the sick
Yep.
reality, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely not for everyone, but I love like trying to fix out the layout or make the layout nice for this particular moment in time. I love like, you know, I could have just cropped your logo from something I found online, but that's why I was like texting you. I was like, um, can you give me a transparent logo so that I can throw it in here? So those kind of details, I love, and I think it's just the artistry of it and the content creation part of it. So sometimes that's all that keeps you going.
Yeah, and you saw the turnaround time for that too, because you sent me a text and you go, "Can I get a PNG of this logo?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Here." It's because I've built so many assets, I have to know where they are, not just for my show,
Yeah.
for other people's shows. Like someone will go, "Can I get that video you did for me again?" And it's, if to really, how do I put this? To come into this space and sort of break that static friction of, first you start a YouTube channel, then you put content on it, then you try to improve that content. By the time anybody who can be in this space and maintain it, it's a lot like teaching. It's a lot like
Mm,
parenting. It's a lot like all of those things. It's a marathon. It's not how you
yeah.
do on day 1, 2, week 3. It's you got to think ahead. And so, for me, the hardest part of NOSFERO is, and I'm still fulfilling. If you guys haven't got yours, I've got many more books to ship. I just put together a giant box for Canada. I mean, for not for Canada, for Australia and Canada is what I'm working on as well. But
Those
the thing about
Canadians.
it, they're great though. I love Todd, man, McFarlane, baby, and Travis Charest. But
That's right.
it's crazy because I there was this moment where I got to the point where I said, "Oh, now I get to think about issue 2." And so I'm never doing just one thing, and I find I operate best in that. And you have to, if you're going to come into this space, you've got to be prepared for the fact that you're not going to do it the same as everybody. Everybody's going to find their own way to do it, but you like, have no illusions. This is anybody, and so many people, if you run your own business, you know this, or if you do anything where you're self-employed, you're going to work more than 9 to 5. You're going
Yeah.
to be working 24/7. It's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, fortunately now, right now, up front, at least for me, all this all the different plates are kind of the fun stuff, the building stuff, the
Yeah.
world building, if you will, or the foundational building, if you will. But I can't imagine if I get to that point of producing a book and like the fulfillment stuff. I don't know if I'd be that psyched about it like you are.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think seeing your book go out there, that's probably the excitement level as opposed to like ordering boxes and packing materials. But
That's
it's
so
all
funny.
part of it.
Yeah, I don't get excited about like, how do I put it? I don't get excited about the books going out. I do get excited when people get them,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm like, oh, that's great. But the thing I get excited about is I love work. I love work, and I love things that are how do I put this? I remember I was talking to my brother-in-law one time, and we were talking, and all of a sudden I realized we might not be having the same conversation. You know, I was like, wait a second, I don't think we're having the same conversation. And I said, can I ask you a question? And I'm just curious. Why do you think I do make artwork? Like, why do you think I'm an artist? And he looked at me for a minute and he said, I imagine because it's fun. And I went, wow, no.
We are definitely not having the same conversation.
No, we are not having the same conversation. I go, this is the work I can do. I have the ability to handle the maximum risk, a possible reward, but just the grind of this, and I have to do it. And so with me, when it comes to, if something needs to get done, like cleaning a kitchen, doing all this stuff, I'm able to walk that line between not just throwing junk out, perfecting it, and knowing when it's done. These are skills that you just have to build when no one's watching you. No one's telling you, you know, hey, you don't have to fulfill this, you don't have to finish this. And it's like, well, yeah, the consequences are going to be awful. Like, you can't ever do this again unless you change your name. But for some of us, the point is the work.
Yeah. I
So
think
the
it's
point's
the
the work. That's
yeah,
it.
it's that pride in your craft, right? And it's you know that a piece of you and a representation of you is going out there in the world.
Yeah.
It's more than just, oh, I like to mix colors and put it on cool paper and like draw cool
Yeah.
things. It's really like representing you and your legacy, your name, your
Oh my God, no! I don't even
talent.
see. God, it's so funny. I love learning about this stuff because this is the funniest thing, right? This. Do you remember when we went to comic shops, which you and I have done? We've gone to many comic shops together, and there's something so cool about giving people their comic. This is your comic. You're the only one that gets to have your comic. Or in some cases, people back a couple books, back 2 copies. It's their comics, and so whatever I do over here, your copy of your comic, it's so much different than a PDF. It's so much different than any of that stuff. You have your book. And so I'll give you a really good example. I started practicing and learning the violin, and I've been renting a violin for the last couple of years. And the company contacted my missus and said, you know, you've paid off so much of this violin. We can actually, for a little bit more money, we can just sell you a violin. You can either keep the one you have, or you can come in and get a brand new violin. And Lauren goes, I think I know my husband well enough to know what his answer is. He's going to keep his violin.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know. And she told me this, and I said, yeah, I want my violin because that's the one that I learned. Like, I have memories with that.
Sure.
So I could buy a new issue of a comic, but if I have an old copy of a comic that's beat, that's the comic it happened with, like you and your friends were talking about.
Yeah.
So this is their copy of NOSFERO.
Yeah.
You know, and I love it. No matter how many times it gets reprinted, only the people who backed this initial campaign are going to get this first printing, this flag in the ground. They're different than just buying the book. They took a risk when they didn't know, which is what crowdfunding's really about. It's not about guarantees. It's about opening doors to new talent. And once we lose that, it might as well just be pre-orders because nobody can afford to come in and do it.
Right.
Who's new? It's not possible.
You should have had a little like blank spot on the inset cover where you would like bleed on it. I mean, pretty much that's what you did. I know, like you hand.
Yeah. You gotta gotta open it, man. You gotta open it.
Wait,
That's
hang
what
on.
you gotta do.
Let me catch up on the chat. Blah blah. People are talking about the echo. Hopefully the sound is good so far or now. I know that John and Mark were figuring it out for us on the side as we were talking. John says, does anyone do the plate spinning act anymore? Only in halftime in basketball games I've seen. There's a really good one for the Warriors. Comrade Sammy's back. I was doing my skincare, thank you very much. And you calling me a punk? You thought I was dead. SMH. Slap my head? Is that what it is? Slap my head? People, fill me in. I know it's slap my head or...
Shaking my head.
Shaking my head. Oh, okay. I always thought it was like this, but like in text. But
Facepalm, yeah. That's a different one, yeah.
We're so old. John says, seems like we were on the verge of getting your friend Jean into streaming too. Yeah, I don't know. She popped in. She popped in one of my streams, but I haven't seen her since. But maybe she will. That would be cool. LOL, skincare is very important when you're dead.
True.
Okay.
True, Dad.
Yeah. Comrade Sammy says, hey, afternoon to you, Mark's music obsession. Enough silliest. How are you? Shake my head. You were right, Shanth. Man, you're more hip to it than I am.
It's hip to be square.
Yeah. Doing pretty good. Doing all right, but now a little worried my skincare is not up to par now. Yeah. My wife actually is really good with skincare. I am not so much. That's why part of the thing, like before I go and stream, it's like, ugh. She even asked me one day, she was like, do you want to do makeup? And I'm like, no, honey. Yeah, I said that. Oh, wait, I'm a guy. Never mind. Will the fun ever begin? Yeah. Okay, it will. It will. I promise. Okay, let's just see. Bow to Mrs. Enjeti. I didn't get to back the first run. That's a little sting for Mark's music obsession. It is. Don't worry, Mark. Shanth will make second run.
Yeah, I got to. It's a great thing about it.
Yeah.
You gotta keep making stuff.
Here he goes. Maybe my second chance copy can be special somehow. It will be for me. Exactly. Yeah. That is exactly the right attitude.
It's your copy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if I know Shanth, he will keep an eye out for that one, Mark. All right, let's get to it, guys. I'm super excited. And hopefully I don't cut myself doing this with my excitement.
Yeah, please don't.
Check it out. Look at this beautiful box, Shanth. Not a dent can be seen. And I remember you mentioned it in another stream, just the care that went into packing. So as I start, you can probably talk to that maybe a little bit. But look at this. Look, I even get a little hand-written, pencil-written with my backer number on it. Huh? Mm-hmm. Is that you or is that Lauren?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your handwriting is so fanciful.
I've had terrible handwriting my entire life since the time I was young, and I had to learn hand control. It was hard for me. And so I never learned how to write script. And I started studying calligraphy, and I said to myself, I go, I'm going to try to learn how to write script, but I want to find a style of script that I like. So what I did was I started learning script by writing script like oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking. I'm this tired. Arthur Conan Doyle. Oh. I started looking at Arthur Conan Doyle's handwritten letters, and that's how I write scripts, like a version of that. So yeah.
That's not weird at all.
No. It's no, I mean, dude, this is how I learn things. It's the funniest thing in the world. Yes, I was like, I gotta learn script.
Yeah.
And now it's like how I write.
Eric Hutfuls is here. Hello, welcome, Eric Hutfuls.
What's up, my friend? I'm working on it, Eric. God bless you.
Hello, John. Where's my painty book, Shanth? Actually, this one is yours, Eric. I intercepted it in the mail.
That'd be great if it said his name on it. Yeah.
Wait, okay. I'm going to make sure you didn't put any nude pictures in here.
I did, but that's the comic.
Oh, okay. Right. Look at that. Aww. I could end it right there. I just get a piece of cardboard with my name on it.
It's all downhill. Well, everybody gets a thank you. Yeah, and then I threw in 2 things that you would get.
Yes. I love it. Wow, you still have these?
Yeah. I found some kicking around in the basement. So those are, I don't know how many years old. 2002, so at least 20-something years.
I have the book, but I don't know if I have this post. I'm sure I have it, but I don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm. We handed those out at conventions. We mailed them to comic shops back in the day, and yeah, these are old. We find these sometimes, and we're like, holy cow!
Issue 2 still.
That's how hard I've been working.
What is Springball? Yep. Springball is an independent, creator-owned superhero comic produced entirely by Shanth and Enjeti. I told you guys, he has not changed. He has not changed a bit. This is awesome.
Seriously, I've gotten fatter. But yeah, I
Look at
mean,
that.
dude, this is the craziest thing, right? And this is the thing I would say to anybody who is feels down. Everybody feels down from time to time. Um, I was trying to work in a way that time hadn't caught up with yet.
Hmm.
And when all of this stuff came along, and when I first started out, watching. I didn't know anything about Ethan Van Sciver or his work. I just knew that I was going nuts about Star Wars and
Right.
what was going on with it. I was like, this is nuts. I've never seen this before. And so I started watching him do that kind of stuff. And I said to myself, like, I had built, at that point, I'd started putting artwork on Instagram. And I thought, I should try to fund an art book just with my fan base and see what happens. And as you know, to my shock, horror, and surprise, it funded. And I said to my wife, I go, I'm not going to do this until I hit this many people. And it funded. It blew my mind. People from all over the world. And then I did a second one, and I said, all right, so now I know what I'm able to do. And I'd already started meeting people in CG and stuff like that. But it was like, I went, okay, now I'm going to try to do a comic. And you know me, I was like, and happy birthday, KSSS. I want to make sure I say that.
Yeah, happy birthday, KSSS.
Every day is a beautiful birthday for KSSS.
This is a NOSFERO birthday for me right now.
It is,
happy
dude.
NOSFERO birthday.
And I put this stuff together, and I thought, I said, I've got to do a painted comic, which I've never done before. And for the first time, I think I did probably the smartest thing that you can do as a creator if you've ever had an idea and been really precious about it, which is I'm going to just tell a story with this character. It's not going to be my magnum opus. I want to tell a story that works. I'm going to find a beginning, middle, and end, and I'm going to leave some room for exploration in the middle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Look at Shanth. So I just want to call out to the details before I tear open to this. Like the nice Liberty in the USA sticker here. I can already see the bookmark and the trading cards. You know, it's so crazy. I know this is how it is. And I've seen this with other crowdfunded stuff, but it's weird coming from you, Shanth. It's very weird. Yeah. It's very surreal.
It's a trip.
Like, because we've seen this in progress. You've shown me images of this, both on and off the stream. And then just to see it here is crazy. Oops. Okay, so nice packaging. Perfectly fit into the Mylar bag. Wow. Wait, I'm gonna put the. You have a backing board with the book and the poster, mini poster of the cover image.
There it is. Wow.
Look at that. And I would say that, sorry, my light is a little bright on the shiny part, but I would say that the printing is identical as far as the color reproduction on the mini poster and the. Is it the same cardstock for the mini poster and the cover? No.
Nope.
It's different.
Totally different company.
This is matte and this is glossy, but the color repro is almost identical. It's
like satin. I will say that on the book itself, and I work with a really great printer, and I will say you get what you pay for, and they're expensive, but they're great. And the biggest thing for me is getting the colors correct. So the book's colors are as close as you're going to get to holding the paintings in your hands. Like a lot of work went into that, which is all stuff I've learned.
Yeah, if you are slaving away on the subtleties of the color from the artist on canvas point of view, gosh golly, you got to get the right printer to make it, reproduce properly, because like otherwise what's the point?
Yeah, I didn't want to come in here and into this amazing space with this great fan base and kind of have to learn everything on the job. So the biggest thing I did was with those two art books, where that I got to do them with my fan base and put those out there without coming on the scene. So I've done 2 books and had to do pre-production and design. So I just increased the level of difficulty with the storytelling.
Yeah, you leveled up.
That was the big thing.
Oh, let's look at the bookmarks and the trading cards. Oh wait, okay, let me get it out of the shine. And I think I can
Wow,
zoom in. Hang on a second. Where is my... Let me try and zoom in here. This might get a little crazy. All right.
Oh, wow.
Is that still in focus? It is, right?
Yeah. I mean, my eyes aren't, so...
I know. Yesterday I was trying to talk about focus on one of the overhead shots, and John was like, I'm day drinking, so I'm not a good ask. Yeah. This is awesome. What an awesome bookmark. How big was the original painting?
Well, flip it over, too.
Oh. There it is.
So you get one that's full size with the art, and then I wanted to do double side printing, so there was a smaller one that had NOSFERO on it, and then that one, which is if you just want the art. But the original is, oh my gosh, I don't know if it's two up from that. But it's it's bigger for sure, because I wanted to make sure the detail happened. But I'm painting.
It's like about one
so
and a half,
detailed
maybe?
now.
150%.
Yeah, maybe 1.5. Yeah.
This is awesome. I love this. Why did you pick this scene? What were you thinking when you were composing this?
Oh, well, because I wanted to do a really cool bookmark, so I wanted to paint something you could flip upside down, and it worked both ways.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, yeah, that was the goal, just to make it so that if you want to look at one side of it or another side of it, then you'd get to kind of, everything. It's so funny because there's so much complexity in all of the best stuff in life, but the biggest thing that you can never lose sight of is that it's about having fun. It's about escapism. Yeah. It's about beauty. Yeah. I'm not under any illusion that I'm writing Shakespeare. What I hope to do is give people something that is not an insult to aesthetics, and that's beautiful and compelling and interesting. And to me, that's such a big thing to give people. That's why I think about the artists who inspired me. Yeah. It's people don't understand. Like when Image Comics came on the scene, it was the idea that anything was possible. And so we have this. It's more than just the artwork itself. And with NOSFERO, I thought, I wonder if these maniacs in CG and in this space will back a hand-painted comic book, a fully painted comic book. And it's the first, I think, to come out of the gates in Comicsgate. And I think it's rare to do mainstream stuff like that, because it's hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
This is a Lascivia card.
Mm-hmm.
Is she in the book?
Yep.
Oh. And Phantomas, that's the beast of Burden. Well, not Burden, but the magical ride.
They're both beasts of burden in a sense. But if you look at that, do you see? Look at the Phantomas again. Yeah. It's based off of the toy artwork for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Battle Cat toy.
Right. That's right.
Fun.
Classic.
Is what we do.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of what you were just saying about Image Comics, I think it was, definitely anything was possible, but it was also everything was exciting. Like they made out of the gates, those guys were just like making it whatever they could do, however many lens flares and rectangular pouches and guns that they could throw on there, how many chains and capes. They just did it, and it was really, really exciting. And not all the books lasted, and there were some growing pains after a few years at Image, but that first year when those came out, that was such a fun time for comics. It was so exciting.
Well, and we measure things too short too. We measure things way too short. So we talk about things in terms of 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. The Image Comics revolution directly plays into what's happening right now. Yeah. Without what's happening, what was started to happen then and what started to happen before them, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the 80s stuff and the Rocketeer and Pacific Comics Presents, there's always this resistance to independence in comics. But if you look at the arc of it, comics have become more independent. They're becoming less corporate-owned properties and more like, say, picture books or writing a novel where you go to the publisher and you have your editor who really edits. Yeah. They look at the stuff and you get to go there, but no one expects them to own your stuff.
Right.
And that's the coolest thing. In Image Comics, the comics was a very backward art form in terms of how creators thought of themselves. And then manga, which has been happening at the same time, has opened even more doors in terms of people's what they're willing to what kind of stories they want to read content-wise. High fantasy, adventure. I mean, Attack on Titan, which is my daughter's favorite manga, I think, is based off of or inspired by Goya's The Colossus and Saturn eating his children. And I just go, this is Goya-inspired anime. It's like, let's bring it, man.
Yeah.
Let's bring it.
Shanth, John has a question here. Did you get a new cam, blur BG filter?
No, it just, there's a new Mac OS thing where you can blur your background and it's got a portrait option. So I just use that. I mean, guys, listen, I have the same violin, the same misses, the same, attitude, and the same happiness and passion and love for all this stuff, man.
Shanth, they didn't have a blur foreground feature for that, just background. So unfortunately.
No, and I tried. I was like, put the background in focus and blur my face. Make it happen. Rub a little Vaseline on the lens there.
Yes. Awesome one is in the chat. He says, time to pick Shanth's nose. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Everybody's saying hey to Awesome One. Welcome. Mark's Music Obsession says, had to go outside to accomplish a couple things, but have it playing in my phone in my jacket pocket. We'll rewatch the video parts I miss later. Great.
Excellent, Mark.
Thanks. Don't put the volume too loud. People are going to think you're crazy. Team Bookmark, Eric Hutwell says. There was that whole group of you guys that were doing bookmarks, right, for CG?
Yeah.
It was bookmarks versus magnets or stickers?
Versus stickers.
Oh, stickers, yeah.
Yeah, it was a war and a battle where everybody wins, as I like to think of it. And the thing that was cool about it is that because you know how I am, man. Unless somebody, which is rare, but unless somebody just comes at me, I'm fairly easygoing. And so I got this message from my buddy Jeremy, who's Jeremy Ice and Fire, and he said, "Hey, we want to talk to you about something. Can you pop on before a stream and talk in the back room with us?" And so I go in there, and Aldous was there, and Snuggy was there, and they go, "We're doing this bookmark thing, and we want to know if you'll do a bookmark for it." And I was like, "Oh, I thought this was an intervention, I was like, all right, and I said, yeah, and I said, no worries, and they said, and we want to make sure we're taking care of you for it, and because this all started because Kenneth Rocafort did a bookmark for them and just said, here, you can use this. I just did this for you, no problem. And I said, well, did Kenneth charge for it? And they said, nope. And I said, this is just something fun. I'll charge what Kenneth charged. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And
someone's asking, can he use the bookmark to use as a level?
It's
it looks
not
pretty straight. Look, it lines up. Look, I'm lining it up. It's pretty straight.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know with all those weird forms in it if it's gonna optically.
True.
Yeah, man.
Team Book funny, man. Mars, John says.
Yeah, that's right.
He meant Team Bookmarks.
He meant Bookmark.
Yes.
I think he did, yeah. Unless there's a third group that's coming.
That's a great one, Shanth Spear. It's because I think
that's what I'm going to die on. Run into a spear. Yeah.
The Team Bard Poster, of the Waffle Lodge. Oh, that's a good one.
There it is. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Pipe down, Sammy. What? Oh, there's a new one. What do you mean? Right? That's what means. What do you mean?
Yep.
I'm learning. Next comic. Stars?
Magic.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Creator-owned comics. Hashtag Manger. Mm-hmm. What's Manger?
Yep.
What is that?
Manga.
Oh.
Manga from where we came up.
Oh.
Man, you ready some Manger?
Did you draw that?
Hey, man, I gotta ask you a question. Did you draw that?
Did you draw that? We've mentioned this a couple of times on the stream, but I can't. We were at the post office, right?
Yep.
What were we doing?
Post office in Chattanooga, and I was sending off submissions packages.
That's right.
As I have been doing, dude. I am. This is funny, man. It's like, and I love all these folks, man, that I've met in Comics Gate, and I was, I was talking to John Malin about the and I showed him little pauses of the TV interview because he was showing a poster from X-Men #1, and I had that in the background when I was being interviewed. But you guys
awesome.
have joined this comic book thing has already been in progress.
Yeah.
And what this is basically, like a car that's like, slamming on the gas, but it's chained to a wall, and then somebody just, I'm off the chain. The chain gets caught, and it's like, go. And I'm just going now, man. I'm full tilt in this.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yes, creator-owned comics. We'll just let that lie. LOL, we need to work on this comprehension thing. Yeah, I'm trying, guys. I like the light reflection on Shanth's glasses. They look like blue tinted glasses. It's kind of a Leon Redbone vibe. Amuses me. You guys ever remember the advertisement for blue blockers? They would show those on I think it was like Saturday morning, if I'm not mistaken. But those were like the most ugly glasses, but they had a catchy song to that. Hey, my YouTube career could take off with a blur foreground filter.
That's right. Someone's working on that, man.
Yeah,
somebody's working on that. It's wild, man. It's wild.
Shanth will do a train manga.
That's right, I will, because I love trains.
Oh, okay.
This is what it is. Yeah.
Then there's the voice. Never mind. John's trolling now.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, Rocky pulls my typo. I deleted. Yeah, sorry. Gotta be quick.
Yeah.
Gotta be quick to chat to catch you guys. Dope, Shanth. Assuming that's talking about the artwork we've shown so far. WDYM isn't We Dig Yankee Music? Man.
Yeah.
What don't you mean? Makes more sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've stopped at Rocky Top a couple times traveling through Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Probably think of Rock City, right?
I don't know. I
think he's thinking of Rock City. You've ever been up there?
What is it? Just rocks?
Oh, yeah.
You would think.
No, it's... Yeah, you go up there and you're just like, there's a lot of rocks up here. No, it's this German couple who came into Chattanooga way back in the day, created this European German folk tale, little fairy tale area with all of these amazing natural things that sort of became like a little theme park, for lack of a better way of putting it, that you walk through. So it's really cool. And I remember going there all the time as a kid.
Wow.
Occasionally they had this elf called Rocky the Elf. I'm not joking. But it was spelled differently.
It was me.
It was you.
Yeah,
and every now and again,
job.
some cat you knew was in it. And they would mess with you. It was
like
great.
It's a costume, like a mascot costume.
Yeah, so some kids you knew was in the costume. It's a trip, dude.
Eric Hutful says, "I thought WDYM was Would Dinobots yell at Megatron?" Oh well, live and learn. Yeah, that's close. It's close. Yeah, it is a good guess. Grimlock.
So this is the big part, man. That first stuff. When you open the book, this is it, man.
All right, here we go.
Ends in tears.
It does. Whose tears it will be, we don't know.
Usually
I noticed you knew what NVM was. Good job. Thanks, John. Okay, here we go. Nice paper.
There it is.
Look at this. Wow, and you scanned in your paper texture, right? For this what do they call this page?
I don't know.
It's not the inset page. It's not the title page. It has a name. I don't know. But
Front matter?
He scanned his a clean sheet of canvas paper here. It's beautiful. Got a nice signature. And that's what it's all about. Right there.
You got it, man. First printings.
Wow.
Boom.
This is great. All your dedications, because we know that without our support system, we cannot possibly do this.
Yep.
Look at that. That's the best part. NOSFERO is trademark and copyright. Shanth and Enjeti. All rights reserved. Get out of here with your... Ooh, it's too bright. It's too bright.
And you're about to get to... Like, the next spread for me is the best... I mean, it is what it is. It's the best writing in the book. It's a crazy thing, man. You get to...
Everybody's saying it's the frontispiece is that first page. Sorry.
There it is.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Yeah.
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 I'm just a simple I'm just a caveman. No, I'm just a simple Chattanooga boy.
Did you draw that?
Did I draw? Heck yeah, I did. Yeah, that's when I learned, like, people don't understand, the things about the South in terms of, we always enunciate the first syllable. So my name growing up was Enjeti. It wasn't Enjeti. It was, oh, look, it's Enjeti. In the backyard. Like, we don't, that's how we do things,
Yeah.
So, yeah, my wife wrote the intro for this book, and I started to kind of think she should. Like, I wanted her to write it, but then I didn't want to put pressure on her. And then she said to me one night when we were sitting there, I said, she goes, she's like, have you figured out what you're going to write in the introduction? And I went, not really. I'm struggling with it. And she goes, maybe I should write it. And I went, I was thinking of asking you. And man, I tell you what, you read something like that, I was unbelievably touched by it. It was great stuff.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that painting's inspired by her and me. The giant hand holding, and the big baby's crushing
you.
Sometimes.
The big baby
yeah,
monkey.
That's exactly. Yeah, no, I'm the hand.
That's crushing the poor lady.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just make a fist, and everybody's problems go.
Dang.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Oh man, this is beautiful, beautiful. That's great that she got to do that for you. That's really great. That's really meaningful.
Wouldn't be the same. Yeah.
All right. Wow, we are getting to it. So I told Shanth I don't want to spoil this for those of you who haven't gotten your book yet. But I also know that he has shown many of these pages already on stream before. Yeah. So no spoilers there. But I do want to show some of the pages. NOSFERO, does this word not sound... Oh, yeah. This was in your trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead. Everybody dies.
That is my reference to Nosferatu. Like I took the Nosferatu, opening text, and then I looked at it and I thought, like, there's three sort of before a story section bits of text in this. And one of them is my nod to Nosferatu, without which so much of this book wouldn't exist. And then the second one is a Lovecraft quote, if I'm not mistaken. And then the last quote in the book, I think, is a Bible verse. So I think that's pretty much how I broke the book up in that sense. So, yeah.
Wow. John says, Eric Weathers, where have I heard that name before? Of course,
my brother.
Great Eric Weathers is doing the lettering here for NOSFERO. And that's awesome. That's really good.
Great dude.
Wow. I'm just stunned by this first page, Shanth. I love how rich the colors are.
Yeah.
Just on this first page.
I mean, this. I wasn't painting when you met me in college. I had to learn all of this stuff, from trial. But if you've seen it on screen, if you've seen digital files, it is nothing like having your copy of the book and being able to really look at it, man. And at a scale where you can see it, because it's 8.5 by 11. It's not comic size. It's like bigger.
And also we're old because we have to bring it a little closer now to
Lord knows.
Do you wear readers now?
Yeah, of course, dude.
You do?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't wear readers yet. I don't wear readers yet. And I'm holding off.
It's weird. Like,
I was just going to say, every year I go
too, but she takes them off when she's with me, which is weird. She's...
That's like the blur we were talking about for the camera. That's her own manual blur
filter. Yep.
The colors, there's definitely like a warmth and richness to the print and to the colors, I'm sure, of the originals, but that probably has to do with the colors you're picking, obviously, but also, like, does your paper, the actual paper, does it have any slight warmth to it? The paper on its own?
It depends, because I had
white?
to switch paper. Yeah, I had to switch paper, so my paper started out a little bit off-white, and then during the sort of supply chain stuff and all of the economic stuff and the fallout, one of the things that ended up happening was this paper I've used since I was in college was discontinued.
Wow.
That's like how nuts it is, right? But
what was that paper?
Strathmore 300-pound cold press Gemini watercolor paper.
Mm.
So yeah, I've got I've known like this paper, all the materials I use, right? But the biggest thing is that that the palette that I use and the type of colors I use are just designed to have like I was terrified of color and using it excuse me in college, and once I started to use it, I just realized, wow, like I'm looking at Pulp and Frazetta and Maxfield Parrish and Mucha, and I just thought, I want to have fun with this stuff. I want to really paint this book. And now my process has changed as a result of this book. I don't pencil tight at all. I start scribbling with paint and building stuff up, and then it just goes. And it's just, I know what I'm doing now, and it's cool.
Shanth, this is so good, man.
Thanks, dude.
This is so good. It's like,
it's
like
it's
you,
a lot, man.
at least this is for sure, like with comics, regular comics, pen and ink comics, and with painted comics, usually, like, I'd say maybe with exception of like Alex Ross or something like that, like with painted comics that I've seen, some panels are, you can tell, like those are the ones that they kind of blew through to get to the big splash painted setup or moment in the comic. But each one of these panels is like, you can feel the work and the love. Like this panel is like a establishing shot. You would think, you don't have to spend too much time, and let's get to this like good stuff here, but I can tell you spent just as much time on this panel as you did down here.
Sure, but if you go through my panels too quickly, you'll miss the copper bones triple stones in that top panel. Because I gotta have a Goonies reference.
Dork.
Yep, that's right. Like
Goonies,
dude, like
forever.
Goonies for life, man.
Yeah,
Look, I actually
Goonies
found it
never die.
recently because I have this in my house, so
Nice.
I know how to get there.
I need like
But
the key that I lay over
Yeah,
the panel.
I know. I'm telling you, man. It's the coolest thing about all of this stuff, right? Is that we're making. You get into a different mentality when you're making books. Like really thinking about this as a book, square bound, and you see that with, excuse me, a lot of the craftsmanship that we're doing in our space. People are making incredibly cool stuff, and we have had Image Comics and a lot of self-publishers ahead of us to look to. But for me, it's there's certain things that when we were in college, I remember seeing Mobius' Zarzak. I remember seeing Alphonse Mucha's work, and I started to have these dreams of what comics could be. And the problem is when I would show that stuff to editors, and I completely understand why, they'd go, "We don't know what we're gonna do with this. Like, you're a new person," and even when people were interested in using me, and when I got hired for jobs, you can't really pull out one of those Jenga bricks.
We're still talking
and
about
really
comics,
get the
right?
most out of it. I think so.
When you
We're
got
talking
hired,
about whatever
people
you
wanted
want it to be about.
People wanted to use you.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm on the streets, no. But what the thing about it for me is that when an artist is doing the entire thing, they get to they have the opportunity to increase the level of complexity because they're controlling all those, or not even controlling. They know where they can have some give. And it's so I wanted to make sure that people knew they were getting a handcrafted work of art when they backed this book, because they're backing an artist. You're not. It's weird. You're not really backing the book in theory, although most of the money goes to printing, and all that stuff. It's a very hard thing to do, crowdfund. It's very hard to step out into doing this stuff.
Oh, I love these skeletons here. These are awesome.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't think I noticed them before. When you were sharing stuff on stream, like all these skeletons, these are awesome.
Think about this. You get to live with this now, right? Like, you get to look at this book. If I've done my job, I've given people a self-contained. Each NOSFERO adventure is going to be a self-contained story, but a self-contained book that the joy of it, like Hammer horror films and all pulp.
Do I need to cover?
No, there's
No?
nothing
Okay.
too bad in there.
I don't know what
think
the
so.
YouTube I don't know what the YouTube etiquette is.
I've shown a lot of my streams, but I'm gonna report you. No, but
That would be
but
amazing.
that would be outstanding.
Yeah.
But well, there's a really good example, right? Look at that castle in the background. Look at the colors on the moon.
I love
That
this.
subtle orange and blue shift is so tough to get in paint. Then you have to get it to print.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the craziest thing about this stuff is that there's so many details that you can't look at when I'm streaming or even posting an image. But I like to imagine people, when it comes to pulp, like I do with a lot of the stuff that I love, after a long day of work, or when you just want to go and look at something beautiful and fun, you put that movie in that you could watch over and over again because it's just a fun, beautiful romp.
Wow.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Comrade Sammy had to step out. I got stuff to do. I'll be listening in though, and everybody's saying, "Hang in there. We'll see
Absolutely.
you." But then she said she'll be back to say Avita's in at the end. All right, Sammy.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Chat will seem empty without Comrade Sammy. We must be strong and carry
That's
on.
true.
We can do this. We can do this, guys.
That's right.
Roxanne. I just had a dream of defacing money when then working for the BBC. Weird. Okay.
Yeah. That happens.
That does.
It's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere. Go ahead.
Yeah. Beautiful castle. That's a real castle.
Yep.
Speaking of the process of getting the colors right with the printer, how many rounds back and forth did you have for color corrections?
There was just one that was, I always do one proof, and then once I see the proof, I can calibrate fairly well in my head how much. Now that one might get you in trouble, but might have to cover up. Yes, do that. But it's you.
But look at this face.
You have to.
You gotta see that face. Look at
People
that.
show, people show art books. It's always tough to know, but the thing for me, what it was about, that was so interesting when I was working on this stuff and trying to figure out the process is I can't tell what their system is, and we've worked together a lot on 2 other books, but I can't tell what their system is and what's going to look like just from my screen, no matter how much I try. So I always assume there's going to be one proof that's not going to work.
How much adjustments do you do after you scan? When you scan in the artwork, how much adjustments
A lot.
do you? Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, ton of adjustments in terms of
tweaking colors.
how do I put
and
it?
Stuff.
Well, yeah, if I let it auto correct the colors, it pushes it somewhere I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But a raw scan is very chalky.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very chalky scan, and so a lot of it is me sitting there with the paper and then the computer, and then it's getting it as close as I can. And then the next thing is when I get the proof back, then I'm looking at the proof with the originals. And
the proof is
you gotta
the
just
proof
be
is
relentless.
at size, right, on the right paper and everything.
At size on the right paper.
Just not bound.
Yep. Not bound. Oh, not bound. They give me the cover, but what was so cool is they wanted me to look at another paper stock they thought could work, because these guys are great. They really are wonderful to collaborate with. And I always think that for me, for a book like this, I've got to, it's it comes out of any profits you could conceivably make, but I try to work with great people because in the long run, they'll save me in terms of money. It's a first impression.
Yeah.
And so I love this spread right here because
It's so good.
I always think about things that you can't do in mainstream books, or that I want to see that people don't do. And I loved the idea of having this character take a page to kind of kneel down and pray, let her pay attention to that, and then just having a painted panel of the cross with the light coming in through it.
I love the feeling of light here. It's nice, really nice. It's great.
It's also
it's subtle.
I don't need to be talking over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just wanted a silent moment there because I'm trying to speak to Peter Cushing. I'm trying to speak to a certain kind of nobility. And if you look at it and you think, well, where are the word balloons? You're going to be forced to just look at the painting. And that's something that I get to do. I don't have to fill everything in because I'm able to do it,
This is so
and
good,
so, yeah,
Shanth. This is so good, man.
Thanks, man.
So good. You guys, you do not, I mean, you're seeing it here on stream, right? But you just don't know until you get it in front of you of how good this is.
Ah, thanks, brother.
Um, let's talk a little bit about the lettering. I know, Eric Weathers is lettering everybody's book and his mama's. And he's a master at what he does, and he's really good.
Yep.
It's funny because the artwork and what you put into it is so hand done. You can feel that handcraft, the painting, the brush strokes, everything. And he's doing digital lettering, but it works really well together. It's great.
Yeah, it's the great mistake that I think a lot of people make with lettering is I'm asking a lot of my audience with new characters, new book, and painting. And I remember having a conversation with Eric, and I go, the reason why I wanted to hire Eric so much for this, and I made it a stretch goal, because I'm like, I want to hire Eric, is because he's a very important grounding agent. We don't need to get too wildly innovative with the lettering. So most of the conversations we had were about lettering for voice, but the biggest one was legibility. Because sometimes people try to get too creative everywhere, and it's just noise.
Yeah, like so when everybody has a different font because of the different voice.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate that. I think image, because like the whole digital revolution for comics came during that image point, that image time, and it was with the coloring, and then even with the lettering. I remember that pendulum swinging a little bit too far, where like every single character had a different font, and it was like, okay, guys, let's just go back to like regular written lettering.
Well, and it's I saw KSS say this in the chat, and it's really funny. He's talking about praying. I'm appreciating the see-through outfit. I am what I am. That is actually another example of things that they can't do, that an independent artist can do, but that groups of people won't arrive at.
All I'm going to say is there's an amen right here. That's all I'm going to say.
Amen. Are you saying, yeah, amen indeed. And it's like, I've had so many conversations about my sense of humor, and then my sense of a meaning behind the meaning. So a lot of people have talked about that last panel.
This one?
On that page right there, and the sword hilt in her hand. Yeah, on that. Oh, this. There's people who've had some thoughts about this, right?
Stupid.
Yeah, I'm just saying. but dude, look at this. This is what people need to get. Look at the panel beforehand. The two before that. Do you see the sword hilt? One above.
This one.
Yeah, that sword hilt is pissed, right? It's burning. It's whatever. When she goes to reach over and grab this thing, this is like his sword. It stops.
Yeah.
Just like the burning blade that you can't grab if you're not the right person, right? So there's also both the comedy of that, or there's the silliness of it, the pulp of it, but there's also a bigger meaning there, which is, this is the universe basically saying, this is the girl for you, dude. She's the person who, like, and it was important to me too, painting her hand. She's a kind of a modest in the sense of her behavior, maybe not her outfit, but only when she's startled would she think to reach over and put her hand on his chest. But these are the little fun things I get to do,
I'm sure most of the chat knows with you, Shanth, like there's always meaning layered over meaning over meaning over meaning with everything that you do, and you're really intentional about that. But it's really cool to see, like, within the panel of a painting, this kind of stuff that you're pointing out, or like the Goonies reference or all that. It just makes the reading experience that much more fun when you discover it. You kind of unwrap the onion a little bit of Shanth's brain and his heart of his book. It's awesome. That's what makes repeated reading for classic books really, really good.
People love that too. They love that feeling that you actually don't hate them. I mean that, and I mean that sincerely, right? That you're actually like, I want you to have fun. I don't want to tell you what you need to think about things. I want to, how do I word this? I'm writing these characters in such a way that I want them, I want you to, like Indiana Jones, right? There's so much happenstance in that movie. And sometimes I think we can push out with this intellectual what's the word I'm looking for? Auteur theory of doing things, where we psychoanalyze ourselves while we create. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
you've
need
talked
an
to me a
awesome
lot about
werewolf
that.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I need this guy standing in front of these pyramids, small, and this smoke kind of coming up to show the scale. It's a lot of drama. You know, it's a lot of Disney 101. You know, Walt's early Snow White stuff. I was looking at that stuff too.
Is this like a chapter break with this quote here?
Yep. It's a chapter break because so H.P. Lovecraft is a huge influence, and I know a lot of people talk about him in terms of it's become very, and by the way, it doesn't bother me that this is the case, but you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, this is very Lovecraftian, oh, this is that, oh, this is this, and I'm not somebody who read a lot of books. I wasn't a voracious reader. I was a voracious watcher and listener of things.
Right.
And so books, it was hard for books to really grab me because I found most books were talking about people's internal dialogue, which I don't have, so I don't find it interesting, which is a weird thing.
Right.
It doesn't interest me. Lovecraft gives you what's happening on the outside, and he writes about things the way I perceive them. And which is in high, like, detailed resolution, so I'm much more likely, like, I can remember exactly where we were, and I see it like a movie when we met, you know, and it's like, I just remember it. It's like a picture. You know this, you've watched me do it, playback video in my head.
Yeah.
And so H.P. Lovecraft really was expert at describing the scene. And so I wanted to have that very important nod to him, because I wanted to make a visualization of good that was as compelling as his visualization of the unknown and cosmic horror. And that's been my goal. Like, what would a hero in a world where life is hanging in the balance, where vampires are basically trying to open a gateway to oblivion? So vampires are a problem, but they're not even close to the problem they're trying to cause.
Yeah.
And that makes the heroes have to step up. So, yeah.
I think it was cool. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's cool that you got to bring this book to Lovecraft's grave, which is nearby where you live. And I know Shanth recorded a video of that, and that's on his YouTube channel. You guys should check it out if you haven't already. But that's just a cool full, I don't know if it's necessarily categorized as full circle moment, but definitely like planting the roots, or going back to the roots of your imagination.
I'd never been.
Before you did that.
All these years, I've never been.
Was that
to
on purpose?
His grave, which is what was. No.
Oh.
Like, it was just, I don't leave the house. Like.
Oh, I thought I was going to have some like great reasoning of like I was waiting for
well,
when the universe aligned. You're like, no,
well,
I'm a hermit.
Here's the funny thing though, right? When we try to manufacture those moments, I think it was C.S. Lewis who said the pressure to feel freezes feelings. It's very true. So these moments actually just unfold a lot of times.
Yeah.
They unfold. I feel like in a non-psychotic way, I can identify with the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, when he goes, do I look like a guy with a plan? But my other thing is where he talks about this, and he goes, talks about schemers.
Wait, hang on a second,
when people
have you showed this on stream before, this page?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I turn it? Okay. I lost the page. Oh, yeah, I remember these eyeballs. That's awesome.
I added I added this spread. And this is where people talk about this. I want to explain crowdfunding in a way that I think is misunderstood, people don't get. The person that a book taking longer to produce, which is what the crowdfunding, thank God, is about, funding the production of it, what it does to the creator is it's worse on them, because you get a certain amount of butter and then the time to produce it is more bread. Right. So you're working with less and less butter. You're trying to spread it over that distance.
We were just talking about grilled cheeses and butter yesterday on my previous stream. Were you? Yeah, that's right. You were there. You were there for the grilled cheese part. Were you for the grilled cheese part?
Yeah, wherever people are talking about cheese and butter, I'll be there.
Okay.
But it's like, it's a paraphrase, but it's nice. I added this double page spread, which is insanely complicated. Because it would improve the book, and I was thinking I could do it on one page, a little backstory, but this has got this. It's not what it's supposed to be, and it took me added time. But when I added it, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to just ask, did you paint it with the page, the double page as one canvas, or did you tape two pages together? Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's one big painting. Yep.
Wow. This
Craziness.
is so good. So good. This like just reminds me a lot of some of the things you were exploring when we were in college and even after college, of the borders not just being standard borders, but being ornate and part of the storytelling. And this is just prime example of that.
Dude, and there's if you look at the page spread in the middle, there's right there the papers that are flying out of the book. The first paper you see is a recreation of H.P. Lovecraft's first drawing of Cthulhu.
This one here?
So, yep. So that's an H.P. Lovecraft drawing. Wow. I kind of did a Shanth version of it.
Yeah.
And then the finding of that particular sword, which is a way old school nod.
This one.
But that's inspired by Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade. Finding the knight in the catacombs. Like, I'm always making, and the Goonies are again on that guy's headpiece.
Here.
Yep. Triple stones.
Nice.
I put it in a lot of my stuff because I love that.
Here.
I love, yeah. Steven Spielberg was, like, my favorite movie of all time is E.T., man. And it's like, that movie just, and that man has had such an amazing impact on my life, so I always make a little nod to his creativity.
Okay, let me catch up on the chat here a little bit. We've jumped behind. Creativity by committee is Disney or terrible. Sometimes a sword is just a cigar. Sigmund Freud taught me that.
Yeah, that's true.
Disney is the graveyard of once great IPs. The cheapest production I've seen was Marvel UK. They would just use splash colors, as in 1 or 2 colors in almost every page, instead of taking time to color everything. Yeah, I never got into those Marvel UK books. They did have weird kind of production quality to them. I don't know why. I didn't. I just attributed it to that it was from the UK. No offense, people from the UK, but I was like, I didn't get it.
I love you.
Depends on what the definition is. I've read more sci-fi and fantasy books. Awesome one says. Yeah, I wasn't much of a. I definitely read more now than I did when I was a kid. I was more into comics. I needed that visual pairing with the words.
I the joke with my buddy Nick was he would say to me, "Have you read?" And then he would pause, and I'd go, "No."
Is he a reader, Nick?
Yeah, he's a big time reader, and I do. This is the crazy thing. I read a lot, but what I like to read is very detailed scientific stuff. I mean, like neurobiology stuff and looking at functional MRIs. So fiction is the thing I mean. Like I do copious amounts of research and studying where things came from. And so what was so funny about that kind of stuff in terms of when I'm working and when I'm thinking about, well, what do I do? What's this story going to be about, is getting into that fun, playful zone. And you have to play. Bancroft, my brother from another mother
White
down under. White Shanth, as my son aptly called him. Is the rule of cool and the rule of fun, man. You got to make it fun for people. And that's what these layouts really come down to, is it's excellence and expertise bent in the direction of fun instead of nihilism. And so that's what Spielberg was an incredible prodigy, and so was Walt, for that matter. He's so young when he did all this stuff. But the goal was for fun. That's a noble goal, is escapism. If you treat it seriously, you got to bring your A game, and that's it.
Do you think the fun came for those in those particular examples for Spielberg and Disney? Do you think the fun came because of their youth? Like they were so young, like life was new, and they were just like,
no.
Because then that means like there's no hope for us old guys.
No, passionate, strong, powerful fun clearly comes from having a happy childhood. So when you read Walt's biography and he talks about his father and him getting in an argument and his father bringing him down into the basement with a hammer.
Oh, gosh.
To discipline him. His brother Roy saying, Walt, don't go down there. And then when his father, who was frail at that point...
You got a thumbs up for that hammer.
took a swing at him. He caught the hammer and his father broke down in tears and fell into him.
Ugh.
That's what makes you say, maybe people need some escapism.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg... divorce, the family being torn apart, feeling uncertainty, feeling fear, all of that stuff.
Did you watch Fablemans?
You don't.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
I haven't
because they
watched
said it's like an autobiography, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
It probably is.
Yeah.
You know.
KSSS says, I thought I was watching a video about Lovecraft the other day. Turns out it was just the review bra critiquing McDonald's. I know the review bra.
Well,
I know that channel. That guy's crazy. For those of you who don't know, he's the guy that reviews fast food, and he's kind of like an old-timey guy, and he talks like this.
He looks like H.P. Lovecraft.
He does. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. He's got that vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's see. Shanth's middle name is Hermit.
Yeah, man.
You took a picture this is talking about H.P. Lovecraft. You took a picture at a grave? I hear that's frowned upon in certain communities. He didn't take a picture at a grave. He took a video.
Yeah.
Multiple pictures.
Yeah. Well, I took a video, but like if H.P. Lovecraft could talk, he'd be like, that boy's miscegenated. Like, he'd probably say something a little racist, but
right.
So it was more like, and I just put a big flag. No, here's the thing about it, right? Is that and this is something so essential in this independent space, is that and just in life I find, you don't need to go and have oppositional defiance disorder when you walk around this world, but it helps. No, but when somebody tells me I can't do something for their particular thing, I just go, this is my life. I'm not telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm actually here making stuff. People don't understand that. Like, it's when I hear people talk about comics, I've never gone into a comic shop and I've been ignored for the reasons that bad comic shops, nobody cares you're there, like all businesses. Yeah. But most of the shops I went into, people will pin you to the wall because they want to talk to you about comics. It's always been the most welcoming place, conventions and all of that stuff. And so when you go to pay your respects, I'm not going to tell somebody how to pay their respects. You know what I mean? Like, that's a personal thing. Yeah. And don't be somebody's defender who clearly can't ask you to be.
Awesome one says, I've been to the Unknown Soldier's grave, Lucille Ball's grave, and Bruce Lee's grave. Yep. Cool. Very cool. Right on.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of what famous... I went to Hamilton's grave in New York.
There you go.
Unknown Soldier I've done. I can't remember any other... I'm not a grave hunter kind of person. Hey, K-Pop Junkie's here. How you doing? Welcome. This is lovely. Is this the first time you've seen this book, K-Pop Junkie? I hope not. I hope you were able to back it. Bleh, I can't speak. But if not, this is a preview for the Second Chance campaign that will come soon. Do you have any...
That's right.
I know you're knee-deep in the middle of fulfillment, Shanth. Do you have any sense of when you might launch a Second Chance campaign for those of the people in the chat that may not have been able to get this beautiful piece of work? Yeah,
when I'm done fulfilling, I'm going to probably, reach out to some folks because I want to make sure that I managed the launch better than I did when I launched on Bancrofts and prematurely launched that campaign. He's like, we're supposed to push the button when you're on stream. This it was fun. It was great. It's made for a brotherhood that's now is global.
Right.
But this is the thing. The thing about it that's so funny, man. It's like people will ask me questions and they'll say this is where the honesty thing comes in, right? Someone will say to me, when are you going to do this next thing? And I'll go, when I'm done with this thing. And they're like, when will that be? And I go, when it's done. Right? Because here's the thing. People ask me, do you think you'll be faster on the second book? I say no. They say, why do you think you won't be faster on the second book? And I go, because I can only go off of what I've done.
Yeah.
And I think it's usually a good idea. And if people say, well, then I don't know if I'm going to back you, then I can say, well, then I don't know if there's going to be a book. Right? Now, if it's a second printing, when that goes, I will say, I am launching. I will give people enough time, and I'll say I'm launching it. And when that goes, I don't have to paint that book, and I can put that money into NOSFERO 2, And I want to make it cool and different, that book in a different way. I don't think I'm going to do a new cover.
Oh, really?
Because I'm a kind of, I'm a stickler for that, right?
Interesting.
There will be other stuff in the book. The cover will be different looking. I might change a color of something or adjust something. But, The Killing Joke had one cover.
Yeah, that's true. It's very iconic.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that. This is the cover. Like, if you want a new cover, I'm working on it. It's NOSFERO 2's cover.
Oh, wait.
Right? I might include some NOSFERO 2 stuff actually.
I want to show that really quick. Show it up a little big.
All right, but I got my crazy blur on, so I don't know if
I can see it.
As well, but
that's great.
Yeah, this is the cover to, and flintlocks are coming into play.
Oh yeah, look at that
next
gun.
chapter.
Wow, that's awesome.
And there's a new hero that you can see in the background with his sword, who's going to be a factor in the book. But I want, and I'm also going to be doing the Second Chance campaign is going to have an art-only edition of the book too. That's the big thing people are excited about.
Yeah, for sure.
And that will be a first printing of the art-only edition. I want to give people as much cool stuff as I can.
That's great. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 is here. Hi, kids leaving work.
My man.
Welcome.
Right on.
Everybody's talking about food because it's lunch. I don't know. It's lunchtime for me, or late lunchtime, so it must be past lunchtime.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock here.
Oh gosh.
Went to bed at 5. I went to bed at 5
in the morning.
Woke up at 10, and I haven't eaten anything today.
Shanth, that's not healthy, man. That's not healthy.
Lauren just said from the other room, "You want a medal?" How New England is that?
Just now?
Yeah, just now. You hear that?
Dang. Is that where the lost pages went?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where the lost pages went, man. Speaking of my brother Phil. Yeah, think of how much fun we get to have with this stuff.
K-Pop
you know what
Junkie says, definitely has an old school fantasy sci-fi book vibe to it. Love that.
It's true. Well, I am old.
Right there. Yeah.
K-Pop Junkie, I just want to give you a shout out and say, Jimin! You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
K-Pop Junkie knows.
She knows.
So yeah, and then you see the hand-lettered books. You see, pages of the paper. And it's my big interest. I love
this blood here.
Dude.
That's awesome.
This is stuff that you should know, in terms of watching me when I worked. When I was in college, I was always, I loved the design. Obviously, Gaijin Studios was a big, influence on me. And so I worked on all this different stuff, and I tried to figure out, how to make that stuff come together. And people talk about Conan, and obviously Frazetta's an influence, but the Conan work that is the biggest influence on this book is the film, the John Milius Conan, which took a lot of liberties with the stories. And the idea of the Wheel of Pain, and the sort of the struggle of being forged into this character that you become ultimately. And it's big.
I was just gonna say, what I love, and I would expect no less from your work, Shanth, is it's not just the beautiful execution of the painting and the Easter eggs and the layering of meaning and things, but it is that like hardcore comic storytelling where you're leading the eye and leading the reader through the page. It's really nice here. It's great. All the like smoke direction, I know you, and I know all of this is so intentional, and so like just to carry your eye through, and I know it's that Gaijin Studios training and just your own like storytelling muscle. It's great. Beautiful.
It's why, like, I play the violin a lot of times just to relax, and I'll pick tunes up by ear. If I've got a tune in my head that I'm like a song I'm remembering, I'll just try to figure it out, because it really is a very physical process where the music gets made physical. Do you know what I mean? Like you're holding the literally, again, the instrument of it. And for me, when I'm painting, there's this sense of play. The color does things that sometimes I don't expect, and it takes me in directions. So a lot of, I think to me, the biggest thing about why skill is so important is because when you're skilled, you can kind of throw yourself off in a direction where you don't know where you're going to go, push yourself really far out there, and then your skill can bring it in for a landing. And if you don't have skill, you're limited in what you can try.
Oh no.
Because you don't think you can save it, you know? I try to push
I'm in trouble
myself.
then. That's not good. That does not bode well. I'm like, okay,
No, dude,
I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh
I think
shoot.
the toughest, well, you're already doing it. You're already doing it on YouTube. Like, you know, we've joked about our relationship, but it's like, I feel like I'm your poison tester.
You like the food tester?
Yeah, but see, we look at it differently, right? Like, we look at it completely differently, because you're like, oh my god, that guy is risking death, and I'm laughing, and I'm going, oh my god, that guy's risking life. And that's the difference. So it's like, it's that kind of fearlessness of, or maybe lack of sense is another way we could look at it. I certainly, have heard that before, but it's it's like this, right? It's I've seen some pretty, some tough stuff. I've had my certainly some tough experiences, and I wanted people to really understand that as horrifying as the unknown and uncertainty can be, and as scary as those things can be, this weak view of good is not the good I know. It's not a good of ease. It's good overcoming unbelievably difficult things. So when I try to represent good, I want to represent it strong. I want it to be powerful. That's one of my favorite panels in the entire book.
Which one?
Is the one on the hug.
What hug?
The hug at the bottom of the other page.
This one.
The embrace.
It's
Two
like
characters.
the most like so subtle, tiny. You're like, that's my favorite panel. Like all this like H.P. Lovecraft and like Christian symbol. Like, there's this little one right here. I love it.
Yeah, because what's so funny about it is, for me anyway, is it's about some of the best things about life have always been when two people who've been through a lot find each other in this crazy unknown sort of space, and it's the person that you needed at the right time to give you that word of comfort or that fellowship. Yeah. And frankly, better than encouragement, in a worse situation, something that makes you're hanging on. You got nothing left. So it's not about going from, okay to great. It's about going from the depths to thinking I can get to the other side of this.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it, man. That's why we do it.
I think that's why, like, as much as humans, we obviously want to avoid suffering, and we latch very tightly to comfort, especially in the Western audience. But a lot of the times, and I try and teach this to my kids, it's like the suffering we go through is just so we can help the next person in line to say, hey, you can get through this. We can get through this. You will survive through this. But sometimes that's the only purpose.
If you look at the top of the other page, this is the craziest thing, right? Like, a lot of people are so completely sold on the fact that a stranger can unexpectedly come in and bring awful stuff to your life, and I'm absolutely sold on that. I think that's cool. I think that definitely happens. Right on. Here's the thing that people struggle with, is that somebody unexpected can come in your life and bring good, which is why it makes sense for that hug to be followed with the most obvious reference to E.T. in the following panel.
There it is.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
But it's like this stuff happens. Like, I don't want people to think I've laid this all out. You guys really watched this be written and created on stream.
Oh, I remember this. I remember when you were painting this on stream.
Yep.
There was all sorts of fun jokes going on in the chat when you were doing the snakes. Wow, these snakes turned out great, Sean. I never saw the...
They're a nightmare. I can tell you guys a spoiler. The snake dies because I ain't painting that in issue 2. That's how that goes. Yeah. Die, snake, die. That's how I write. I'm going to go, if it's hard to paint, you die.
At the end, everybody dies.
Yeah, that's right. If you've got a detailed character design, we ain't gonna be seeing you.
All right, sorry, I missed a lot in the chat. The guys are talking about food, talking about colon issues. My goodness.
Yeah, we covered it all here.
Fasting, Taco Tuesday. Ooh, Taco Tuesday. That sounds really good. day drinking. All right. Oh my gosh. Eric Hutful says, I've started listening to some Conan audiobooks while working lately. Cool. Who's the, I wonder who the narrator is.
There's some great narrators on there too. Some great audiobooks. You know, I've been listening to, I tend to listen to books until I have them, if I haven't
Memorized?
committed a book to memory.
Memorized in your creepy photographic memory way.
Yeah. Well, you still know, right? Like when we talk about Return of the Jedi, right? It's command station. This is SD-321. We're starting approach. Deactivate the security shield. Like you got to know that stuff. You know what I mean? And it will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Stand by. You know what I'm saying? Got to remember this stuff.
KSSS says, oh, sorry. NOSFERO is beautiful. It's original and great and has a good old school heavy metal vibe that is far too rare these days. Amen to that.
You know,
awesome one says,
so funny,
is Yo-Yo Ma your hero, Shanth? He plays cello in Branson, or he used to.
Yeah. Like, he's somebody I actually do respect, and this is the thing, you know, just in terms of, you know, the craft, he's also one of my heroes because I think he's been on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which is amazing, you know, like he's one of my big heroes, but this is the thing, right, that when you're looking around the world, like I remember my wife pointed this out to me where I used to walk into rooms and I'd have a little chip on my shoulder and I'd kind of go like, man, like there's nobody in here who's brown in this room, right? And then my wife said, no, there is. Think about that for just a minute, right? So when people look at this world, and that's like old school, man. We've been together for 20-something years. I thank God I've killed that snake, no pun intended. But this is the thing about it, right? Is that when people look around and go, "There's so much negativity," and I'm like, then don't participate in it.
Yeah.
Put something positive. Don't tell people, "Don't you be negative." Don't tell people what to do.
Yeah, counter it.
Right? Like, don't be an authoritarian. But
yeah.
Right. See, here's the craziest thing. If someone was talking about this, that if you go into a room with a bunch of screaming people and you go stand in the center of the room quiet, eventually people will notice you.
Yeah.
And they might pay attention. You'll have more impact. And so I don't want people to say, no one's doing painted comics anymore. Nobody does this. Nobody does that. When it's something I want to do. That's not what drives me, right? But I don't want people to say, everything is so negative and nihilistic. And I'm like, no, not actually, I won't allow you that, you know?
What's your favorite painted comic, Shanth? Or do you have one?
That's tough, man. And I think this is the last spread because I think we're getting close to the too much level of it. But
yeah.
I will say this. And you can show the bonus stuff too in the back, by the way, without revealing. Here's the problem: one of the bonus pages reveals the last page of the book.
Okay, wait. I'll look at it carefully.
Yeah.
We are a little bit over halfway here that we've shown on stream, guys. But to talk to Shanth earlier, I don't want to spoil the whole book, obviously, because people are waiting for it, and you have to experience it on your own. But can you imagine all that art that I just felt like I just ate like 40 steak meals right now, and we're only just a little over halfway. So you are getting your money's worth. You're getting your money's worth on this book.
Comic book is.
All right, I'm gonna jump past. Yeah,
that's because that's a very tough call because I'm like looking around, and I'm thinking none of my favorite. I have some new favorite comics, I'm thinking, but none of my favorite comics were probably painted. It's just weird.
Fair. That's fair.
My favorite comic is because people will say things like there's a lot of artists who do painted stuff that I respect and think are cool, but like I like crazy artists. So if it was comics, it'd be like I like Richard Corbin's painted comic stuff. I think Den is pretty cool.
Yeah, that just came out, right? A new release of that just came out.
Yeah. New release of Den. But I like Frank Frazetta's paintings. I like Dave Stevens' paintings, but my favorite, I love The Rocketeer. I love Todd McFarlane. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did you like
Kingdom Come?
Yeah, I loved Kingdom Come when it came out. I thought it was really cool. Did it hit me the way that the first issue of Spawn did? No.
Yeah.
That's not, but it is incredible, right?
Yeah,
I look at stuff.
I felt the same way with Alex Ross came out with that Fantastic Four recently, that limited series he did, Fantastic Four. And it was beautiful, amazing paintings, amazing. But like you said, I was like, like I don't own it because it didn't hit me the same way as like something I wanted to like look at over and over again.
And I like my favorite stuff, my favorite art that moves is film. It's movies, I should say. It's because some of it's digital now, so it's kind of a strange thing because it's very weird for me to be doing painted comics because it was never a goal I had.
Yeah,
I just happened to be.
I can vouch for that too. Shanth was not
happened to be a painter.
Striving to be a painted comic artist.
Yeah.
I don't want to show I don't want to show the page
yeah.
previous to this, or should I?
You can show that spread, yeah, not the page
one?
previous to that spread.
Yeah,
yeah, that's okay. But yeah, no, you can. Well, yeah, from censorship. But what you will see is how many changes the characters and the paintings go through. And I also want to make sure I say this because I don't want anybody to get it twisted because it's important. Alex Ross, just whether you're Rob Liefeld or Alex Ross, Rob Liefeld going to Malibu and launching Image Comics is important to this book. Alex Ross showing that you could now, the reproduction quality was good enough to really reproduce painted comics at scale was important to what I do.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have considered this would be possible in the future. And without John Malin and Ethan and those guys, which is why, they get thanked in the back of this book, if they hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have thought of YouTubing, crowdfunding, any of this stuff. And so I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm bringing what I can bring to the table. Yeah. Because I go all the way back to the founding fathers. My right to express myself freely. That's something I didn't earn. I didn't create the comic buying audience.
Yeah.
I didn't create.
You didn't make up that part of the Constitution. Yeah. You didn't write that yourself.
And I didn't write that part. I may be one of the few people I know who actually has read it and knows it too as well. But that's a whole nother thing. But this is the thing about it, right? I saw someone saying in the chat, some of my full-on painted books are the OG Army of Darkness. Yep, I know that artist. And Army of Darkness, the movie, and Evil Dead 2, and that whole Necronomicon Lovecraft introduction was an influence on this book because it was both independent, it showed what you can do, and it showed that we need to push the envelope a little bit when we're independents in terms of my job is not to do a lesser version of mainstream comics. My job is to do something they can't do and do what only independents can do.
Only an independent can make a snakeskin bookmark, apparently. Awesome.
That's absolutely right. I'm working on it.
K-pop Junkie agrees. So many snakes. Shanth is going to shed painting snakes.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, oh my gosh, man. Yeah.
John
my
gives
happiest page on that comic is when the snake gets killed. Sorry. You have to know this, guys. I don't care. You need to know it.
John gives a quote, "Negative people need drama like oxygen. Stay positive. It'll take their breath away." I like that quote. That's nice. So many monsters per page. Dig it. K-pop Junkies digging it.
Yep.
She says, what's funny too is painted comics are my fave.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, you know what's so funny about the negativity stuff is that that how do I word this? It's really about, because you can't be up all the time, can't be down all the time. Most people aren't. But there's this really important resource, which is passion and energy. And, I think that a lot of times it's hard to understand what highly accomplished people with a lot of eyes on them go through. It's very different than what we go through. Most of us cannot conceive of J.K. Rowling and what Harry Potter is to her and what it's like to be on the receiving end of so many strangers' projections, sense of what you should and shouldn't be. You got to have a strong core. George Lucas, the same thing. All of these guys, right? And so what I always think of is, I always think that I conduct myself as best as I can, and I'm very grateful that things happen in a largely manageable pace. But I'm not naive enough to think that I know the pressures of somebody who has a lot of eyes on them and a lot of constant thing, because you get days, you still have to take out the trash, you still have to do stuff at home, you've got kids, and people are shocked that people get tired. and people have a tough time. The cool thing is, if you do work on yourself to the extent that you don't have to lie to people, which I accidentally, I think I've done, weirdly, is that people kind of get to know you in a very real way. Like you always say to me, Shanth, you're like the same dude in terms of a lot of things as I was in college, just an evolution of that. But I'm not. It's not like I'm a new persona you don't recognize, and we've seen that in our lives, right? Yeah. It's the same for you, man. You can't have a 30-year friendship if you it's like, oh, now I don't have a British accent suddenly. Like, that's not gonna work, dude. It's not gonna work.
Are these images the
Process.
underpaintings of what became the final?
I don't do underpaintings. I just hit it with my face till it's done.
So these ended up becoming the final pages.
These are the finals. Like
and you just took scans or pictures or scans of them prior to finishing the picture.
Yeah, they're photos. Yeah, I just took photos of them, and I was like, I need to, because here's the coolest thing about what I do is, in terms of, for me, like, fortunate, not cool, but fortunate. My promotion is making the book. So as long as I don't stop working, I never run out of a way to show it, because people, it'd be like if Bob Ross at the end of a year or two, he put out a book of the paintings you saw. He was marketing them the whole time. Because you're connecting with the process. People watch this, this process, and they feel connected. They're like, come on, Sean, let me send you a super chat so you can get some brushes, because they know, we're not swimming in it. Every bit helps.
Wow, these are
and
awesome.
So I want to give them something beautiful.
Oh, I love that term, pulp nouveau. That's nice. Did you make up that term?
Yeah, I'm good at. Yeah, I'm an academic. I can make up nonsense and have it stick.
You could have called it pulpuo.
Potpourri is, you get into potpourri, things go off the rails. But yeah, I mean, pulp nouveau, and what was the other one I had there? Was lurid grandeur. Those are my the two phrases I use.
Eric Hutful says, I still want that Alex Ross FF book. Hey, it's awesome. It's a great, great book. It really is.
Yeah.
Some of my full-on painted books are the OG. Oh, yeah, that's what you're saying. And any of the Biz stuff. Simon Bisley's great.
Oh, yeah, that's a book I like.
Did he do a painted comic book all the way?
Slain the Horned God, painted book by Simon Bisley. That's good.
That's right. Yeah.
Super fun.
Let's see. Shanth is immortal, so says Spurgeon about mankind.
That is definitely, mankind.
And then he follows that up with, I don't know what to make for dinner.
Amen. Yeah, well, that's one of my favorite, little parable stories that guides me a lot in life, which was, the two monks, the older monk and the younger monk, having lunch. And the younger monk is having a breakdown. He's freaking out. He's like, I don't know the way. I don't know the path. I feel like, if I see the Buddha, I'm supposed to avoid him. But then I'm like, but where's the path I walk? And what do I do this? And they're just eating rice. And finally, they finish eating. And the older monk, after listening to this poor kid pour his guts out, just looks over at him and goes, did you finish your rice? And the younger guy is just looking at him like, are you seriously, like, that's what you have in response to that? And the younger guy is just annoyed, and he's like, yeah? And he goes, then wash your bowl. Do the next thing.
Yeah, the next thing. Just do the next thing.
So shipping is the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second chance is the next thing. I don't think about 10 or 20 years. I think about 4 or 5 months. And today, mainly.
Yeah. Eric Hutful says,
maybe she's into taking out her trash. Maybe she doesn't have a dog sled.
Yeah.
You don't know. She's rich.
Do we really know? Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah, do we know? You never know.
Shanth removes his glasses as he enters the phone booth and comes out to save the world.
That's right. And I can't see anything, so I harm people accidentally by flying through them. I'm like, I misjudged the distance. It's terrible.
Eric Hutful says, I have a fully painted Star Trek The Next Generation graphic novel called The Gorn Crisis.
Nice.
Painted by Igor Kordy. Cool. I just, when I was getting my old comics from storage, when I visited my family, I found that Star Trek book that Adam Hughes did. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
That was cool.
Yeah. Was that the one? Wait, what's on the cover?
Let me get it. 1 second.
Yeah, I wonder what it has on the cover because I'm trying to remember it. Yeah, I know. I remember Adam doing a Star Trek book. And guys, make sure you've hit that like. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel. This is my brother Rocky. I've known him for 30 years, and he just crossed 100 subscribers. So if you haven't liked, if you haven't shared it out, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Click the bell for notifications. You guys know how we get it done. There you go. So do me a solid.
Yeah.
And I actually don't even know. Carl Story did the inks. Chris Claremont. Who did the cover on that one?
It says Chris Claremont. Okay, Adam. Color art by Tom McCraw. But I don't know if he did the cover.
Colorist, though.
Yeah, let's look at the cover.
I actually have no idea because that'd be funny if they don't list the person's name in the book. That would be dark.
Yeah,
hopefully it's in the first couple of pages.
They don't write who.
They have to. Maybe those 2 pages are. They usually do. Maybe it's signed. I feel like I know who, like someone who painted it. See if it's. Is there a page that's there that we're not getting to?
Oh, here. I did miss it.
Other page. It's like on the opposing page. I mean, Jeanette Kahn. Usually it says it's small. Oh, that's weird. Maybe. Adam. I think Adam did.
Oh, here.
I think Adam might have done.
Dave Dorman.
Oh, Dave Dorman. I knew it was somebody who did Star Wars and science fiction art. There you go. I know Adam was painting, but
it almost feels like Adam did the layout for this.
Maybe he did. Yeah, you're right. But Dorman's, amazing too.
Yeah, he's good.
Dave Dorman. That's right.
Is he still alive? Dave Dorman?
I have no idea. I don't know if I am.
NOSFERO is just slightly bigger than this. Slightly.
That's right. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta flex a little bit in front of Adam.
Well, I wanted it to be that pulp magazine sort of sized experience for people. A lot of people haven't had that experience, and there's your name is mentioned in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In the onward section.
Yeah.
There it is, man.
That's awesome.
And
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for including me in that.
That middle paragraph right there that starts with.
Yeah.
That's the one people should you should read. That's a good one for people.
All right, let me zoom in a little bit.
And actually the last one too, because it's for the backers.
It says, with love, forgiveness, and prayers for those who have injured me. My bones have set, my bruises have healed, and my spirit was not broken. By the grace of God, I found peace in your absence, and I wish you the same. 660 backers made NOSFERO the Crypt Walker possible. They paid for brushes, board, paint, and supported my family in our leap of faith. The impact of their support is beyond evaluation. There you go. Speak easy, stay gold, and keep the faith. You misspelled your name, though. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I did. Dude, I don't... Is anybody going to even know if I do? I mean, dude, I'm almost there.
You're almost there. And then
there's that Ayn Rand quote at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Bible verse and an Ayn Rand quote, man. I'm all comers. I'm taking everybody on.
Everybody is included.
That's right.
Go.
It's not a private fight.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, let me see what the chat is saying before we check out here. Okay, we're going food. Professor Shanth with a degree in snake dissection and rejection. Slaying the Horn God and his Terminator, the enemy within. Oh, okay.
Right on. It's good.
Awesome One was talking about how he makes his own bread in one of my streams. So
dude,
he's in it. He's doing it. You gotta shoot it now and put it on YouTube. I remember that Adam Hughes Star Trek book. He actually did covers for other Star Trek comics. He's a big Trekkie, right?
Yeah, he's great.
Adam.
Yeah, he's great, man.
And obviously his command of likenesses is bar none. So
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adam himself is an amazing painter, but he's never done a painted book. Would you? Right? Only covers for paintings.
No, he's smart.
Yeah.
No, I mean, guys, like it's the funniest thing in the world, right? There's a reason. If you look around yourself and you say, hey, there's nobody who builds old style, incredible classical violins. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. There's a reason why they're rare. It takes
a lot of work. It's a small, but it's also a very specific kind of thing. And I always say that when people are backing NOSFERO, they're in a lot of ways, and I care about this kind of stuff. They're backing a tradition surviving. because yeah, I mean, it'd be faster if I did this in digital in a lot of regards, and I could do a lot of stuff like that. And I'm not knocking people who do that.
Right.
Because that's just weird. You know, like, I do this because this is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make a stance about something.
Right.
However, if you love this stuff and you're like me, like, I don't have an interest in living, you know, and studying 18th century history, but I subscribe to and support the Townsend's channel and even buy stuff off of their website
What do they
any
sell?
way I can. They sell, oh my gosh, these amazing handmade mugs and like historical reenactment stuff and all sorts of cool stuff.
Cool.
And I want them to continue to exist. And they've got, what, 2,300,000 subscribers who agree with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's important.
It's a lot of Dave Dorman fans in the chat.
Right
Eric Hutful says, yes, Dave is still working, but he's a conservative, so he's not getting mainstream work anymore. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Here's the spellings. Shanth. Shanth.
Yep.
Dave Dorman is still alive. He's 66. Oh, really? Wow, he's young. Younger than I thought.
I did a cover for your boy. Awesome.
No kidding. Yeah, I know. I remember his Star Wars stuff, a lot of his Star Wars stuff. The one artist that I would want to see a fully painted series from would be Clyde Caldwell.
Yep.
I don't know
Excellent.
Clyde Caldwell. Do you know Clyde Caldwell?
Yes, I do. And you know what trips me out about that thing about the Dave Dorman and the whole political nonsense of people who've gotten nuts about politics is, can you imagine going in for surgery and go, now wait a second, what are your politics?
Right.
Like, it's not like we are overwhelmed by genius. Do you know what I mean? Like, genius,
Right.
no, but really, it's rare for a reason. Right? Like, it's exceptional. It's like, it's the weirdest thing in the world. You know, when I see people going this, it's like, are you a plumber or an electrician? Then you don't have to have anybody tell you anything.
Right.
You're running it. You know what I mean? If someone's like, well, what are your politics? It's like, just be like, my rates, I can tell you those, they went up.
Yeah.
You know?
After that question.
Exactly right. It's none of your business. I just do the job, man. People are weird.
Get on that viola ins
Dude, I love
book
the viola.
manga, Sean. What's ins?
I will. I think he meant violin, and then it spell checked it because there was a space.
Wow, you're good at interpreting manga.
Yeah, because that's what the English language has been like for me with dyslexia. So
Each violin
once I learned it well.
super secret power or transforms into mecha. We've got to work on our rocky confusion. Yeah, you guys are good at confusing me. I try and listen. I'm a good listener. I try and like be very conscientious, but I get confused too. He did a ton of sci-fi, TSR, and D&D covers. I'm assuming this is Dave Dorman back in the day. Fantastical.
I think it's Clyde
Painter.
Caldwell. I think we're talking.
Clyde. Oh, okay. Awesome. All right, I have to check that out.
That stuff
He didn't do the one that
iconic.
was on that D&D source book, did he? That one was an awesome painting.
That's the crazy part is I want to look it up because I think that is the
one with the red
iconic.
dragon.
Yeah, I mean it's he did his stuff was I think was in that in between period. That's what it is. It's how do I don't know how I would describe it. If you looked it up, because he's had a very long career, so he might have. I mean, for all I know, he did do some of that stuff. But this stuff is so iconic, man. It's in the great sort of 80s, you know, hand painted traditions, man. It's whew, that stuff's good.
Oh, yeah,
he did the famous. I know which one you'll know. It's Shield Maiden's Quest is an absolute iconic one that we all knew from that time period.
Are you looking on his website?
It's I just googled him and I'm looking at the ones you would definitely know.
Oh.
So
Wow, he's good.
Shield Maiden's Quest by Clyde Caldwell. I remember that book. I remember what are some of the big ones I remember? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a book in this series. What is this one called? What is the name of this one? Because I had a couple of books with his art on it, which is why I know it. Did some great werewolf stuff.
Yeah, he's good.
The Steel and Atone. I think they might have meant stone, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember if that because of my reading. But that's a cover. I remember I had that book, and I thought the artwork was great. But yeah, there's guys.
Wow.
Art is incredible, and I love it.
Yeah, that's
That's
great.
the best way I could put it. I love art,
Well,
especially
this,
T-Bear.
Shanth, this is incredible. This is really good. You should be proud. I'm very proud of
Thank
you.
you, sir. I appreciate it.
Everybody, this is a wait, where is it? This is a piece of Shanth that you will own if you back this book. It's worth it. It's worth every penny and then some. And the care that Shanth has put into the artwork, and not just the artwork. I mean, that's a given, right? We know him, but the story and what you're trying to do in this space is evident in this book. It's really amazing. Yeah. It's awesome. It's the best thing I've seen you ever do, really. And
dude,
I've seen a lot of what you've done, but it's the best.
You've seen a lot of it. It is hands down the best thing I've ever done, and I will say that one of the things that I've tried to do since I've come into this space is, and hopefully, I don't even actually have to say hopefully, because I think people do notice, is I try to bring positivity as much as I can when people are just, like tired. Some of the people that who really are the sharp end of the spear, who are out there doing it. And I always make sure I let them know I appreciate them. And that's one of the reasons why I sent all this Image comic stuff, the Will Portasio portfolio from 1992 and a Rob Liefeld one to John. It's because these guys work really, really hard. And, a kind word, and they've risked a lot to be here, lifts people up. And that's what you guys do for me. When you back the book and when you guys support me and when you guys become channel members and all that stuff, there's an immediate impact on me and my family and our ability to do this. Yeah. So that's it. And this friendship that's lasted, 30 years, and it's the same thing with Vin too. He did a video where he was like flipping through the book, and I just go, this is like, we met each other as kids, man. We understand like this crazy thing, and it's about relationships and sharing these moments, and one of the things we've done a lot over those 30 years, including the groomsman aspect of these things, which is they say that some people think that a friend, and I hear people say this all the time, a friend's job is to call you out on your BS. Whatever. That's like the cops and your parents' job maybe, or your wife's job. I always say that a friend's job is to, one of the most important roles a friend can play is to help you celebrate your accomplishments. And we have been celebrating each other's accomplishments and being excited about each other now for 3 decades and no end in sight. We're just going to keep going.
Yeah, let's do it. Well said. Everybody's saying evident and epic. Voltron Shanth. I thought, this is in response. K-pop Junkie said, so if I get 100 NOSFERO books, does that assemble a giant Shanth? Well, I'd say so. Yeah. No? Oh, no. Shoot.
I'm already a giant Shanth.
Volshanth-tron. Does Shanth sing every time you go away and take a piece of me with you after each book ships?
That's right, I do.
Well, he plays it on violin. He plays it on the violin.
That's right.
Wow, these are good. These are good puns, guys. Auto snakes assemble. Friends don't get jealous.
Right on.
That's true. I celebrate pizza. That's a good one to end on.
Amen. Bless you.
I am so hungry right now. Hey, Shanth.
Get some food, man. You got to eat.
Yeah, you too. The awesome thing is that because your schedule is so messed up, it actually lines up with mine.
Yep. But then, you know what's funny is people all around the world tell me that, which begs the question.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only time zone that tells you that.
Yeah. I take all comers time zone wise.
He's a time zone. He doesn't see time zone, guys.
Yeah, that's right. I don't. No prejudice here.
Congratulations, Shanth. This was an amazing,
Thanks, brother.
Amazing accomplishment. Everybody who's in the chat, John, Awesome One, Eric Hutfuls, Cranberry Langers, K-Pop Junkie, Stephen Rockwood was here, General Piggy KSSS, Comrade Sammy. Did I miss anybody? Mark's Music Obsession was here. Mark's Music Obsession, KSS. Oh, I said that. Eric Hutfuls.
Yeah, I wish Joan Cook was here.
Joan Cook.
That's another K-pop reference. All right, let's keep going. All
right,
we gotta wrap up.
I think I got everybody, but if I didn't, I will live in regret for the rest of the day. But thank you guys for coming. Please like and subscribe. I'm already assuming that you guys are already subscribed to Shanth's channel, but if not, tell the world, because his book has got to get out there. It already is. Hopefully you guys get yours soon. I will be poring over this by myself, crying in a corner. Good tears, happy tears.
Tears of joy.
But yeah, tears of joy. Absolutely, tears of joy. Thanks a lot, Shanth. I'll talk to you a little bit at the end. But thanks everybody for coming, and we'll catch you later. Catch you around the bend. See you later.